God, I think there's a problem with some of your designs.
Jeffrey, the only problem is your lack of understanding. God. My designs are perfect, okay?
Perfect nightmares, maybe.
What the hell are you talking about now?
Well...
Wait, what? You want me to throw my... in a circle? How do you do that?
We hopping out at red lights, twerking on them headlights.
I'll give it a try.
My body count was 11 entering this profession.
Life's great, pussy still good and good.
My body count is so high that I don't know. Wait, don't use that. I don't know my body count.
Salute and welcome back to Unknown Soldier Radio.
Get to the chopper!
And I'm Dog Tags. Yeah. Hashtag DNA. Hashtag all cells matter. Hashtag where your mouth been? Did you know that everything that you sense, from what you see, from what you hear, from what you taste, touch, and smell, forms a mini version of that exact same thing inside you? This is a conversation about microchimerism, body count, and are you sleeping with the enemy? I'm really not sure where to start, so I'll start at the first thing that comes to my mind when talking about skin cells and the transmission of bacteria. And ever since C-19, people have been more cautious of washing their hands and taking extra precautions to prevent the growth of bacteria and germs on their own body. And we've always known that we are capable of sensing much more than meets the eye. Therefore, the eye has always been more capable of sensing more than just the skin that we're in. And microchimerism is no different, for it represents the me in you, and it also represents the you in me. So let's take a look at not just the definition of microchimerism, but also the case study. In mythology, the term chimera is related to a monster which is composed of snippets of various animals: a lion, a snake, and a goat. Usually depicted as a lion with the head of a goat arising from its back and the tail that ended in the snake's head. And this is just the physical definition of the word microchimerism, coming from the key word chimera, which means the lion, the goat, and the snake. And we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the skin, no pun intended, and go internally to the organs and the tissues of the reproductive system, let alone spiritually, speaking to our spiritual man and spiritual woman. This is one reason why it feels so good to be outside in the sunshine. My life, my life, my life in the sunshine, because your cells control access to the genetic coding by wrapping the DNA around proteins like vitamin D. One thing about energy is it never dissipates. It just changes forms mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and verbally. For those of you who don't know or realize how deep this rabbit hole goes, let me give you an example. Have you ever been with somebody and they have a trigger word? Now, you don't know that this particular word is a trigger word until you say it. For example, let me give you an example. Okay, so one day Dog Tags is chilling with this girl I used to fuck with, and I was like, hey, can you pass me the remote? And she was like, Shabba! I'm like, wait, who the hell is Shabba? So we're gonna start from the outside, which is the physical realm, and we're gonna delve inward to the spiritual realm, and I'm gonna explain to you how microchimerism/body count affects modern day women, or just women in general, more than it affects men, but how it affects us all spiritually. So let's go. In the physical realm, you have the cellular level, which is comprised of cells that you can't see, with an exception of, dirt and fingerprints. And these cell walls have 3 levels. You have the primary wall, you have the middle wall, and you have the secondary wall. But unfortunately, these 3 cellular walls can be compromised by airborne pathogens that contain bacteria. And these airborne pathogens that contain bacteria leave enemy soldiers behind, and we'll call them residue. And this residue has the capability of seeping into your pores, which brings us to the skin. The skin also has 3 levels. You have the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. Now, for an example of levels of depth into the skin, if you've ever gotten a tattoo, the tattoo was done at the dermal level, or the second level of the skin, called the dermis, which is about a little more than 2/3 of an inch. And the hypodermis is where we begin to get into the tissue. Now we deep. Yeah, we are deep, because now this is where the nervous system comes into play, because the nervous system has control over your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves, which bring us back to our senses. See that? See how we came back around? The nervous system, or the skeletal system, has control over your taste, smell, what you hear, what you think, what you touch, all that. So now, those enemy soldiers that was on the cellular level that we didn't care nothing about, because all they was trying to do is get to the chopper! They have infiltrated, duplicated, imitated your whole reproductive system, and you wondering why you acting like you acting.
You can't make this shit up.
Women are receivers of men. Adam gave his rib to Eve, and it wasn't the physical rib that he gave, it was the chromosome X. And that is the reason why we are made different. Every cell that you encounter, or better yet, every cell that encounters you, not has just the ability to permeate the physical realm of your body, but it also possesses the ability to permeate your soul.
You can't make this shit up.
You know what these antibodies/anti-soldiers do when they come into contact with human cells? They try to form bonds. Inescapable bonds, spiritual bonds, trauma bonds.
You can't make this shit up.
This is why body count matters to men. We are trying to bond with you, and you have all these other entities inside of you. All these inescapable bonds. You got a spiritual bond, you got a trauma bond, and if I mess around and get in trouble, I'm gonna need a bail bond.
Gotcha, bitch.
All cells can be the portal to your soul. Protect your peace, protect your spirit, and most importantly, protect your bond. Salute from Dog Tags.
You want me to throw my in a circle? How How do you do that? I'll give it a try.
God. My designs are perfect, okay?
Perfect nightmares, maybe.